This video explains how to design a competency framework in the context of the Navigator. Guru Navigator helps in locating learners in their learning journey, and it provides pathways to help learners reach his or her learning goals. In order to track the learning journey, any learning discipline will need to be rendered into a competency framework, which then becomes the backbone for navigated learning. Any learning discipline can be translated into the framework and is required for all the courses that are on the Navigator. The framework defines the hierarchy of the course that is to be developed. It includes the subject, the marker or level, the domain, topic, competency, and micro-competency. Let us understand these further by looking at what each of these mean in detail. A subject indicates the subject of learning that is going to take place. Subjects could range from math to soft skills to leadership and so on. A marker or level is the level of learning that is going to take place. This could be the level that the course caters to, like a beginner's level, an intermediate level, or for example, in math, a grade 1 level, a grade 2 level, and so on. Every course is further broken down into domains. Domains are specific learning areas within a course. On the Navigator, each domain becomes a unit which contains lessons. An example of a domain for math could be measurement, could be number operations, algebra, and so on. Each domain is further broken down into competencies. A competency could be a skill, behavior, or knowledge that the course aims to develop. On the Navigator, learning is tracked at the competency level, and so the competency needs to be accessible. Each competency becomes a lesson on the Navigator. An example of competencies under the domain of number sense could be understanding place value of 2-digit numbers and understanding place value of 3-digit numbers. We then have micro competencies. Each competency can be further broken down into micro competencies. It defines the depth of knowledge that is associated with a competency. Micro competencies can also act as a guide for content creators to develop resources and assessments on the Navigator. Let us look at an example of this. Understanding the place value of 2-digit numbers is a competency, and this can be further broken down into 2 micro competencies. The first one being understanding the relationship between units and tens, and the second one being writing the expanded form of a number. Next is the topic. A topic groups closely related competencies, and it helps the Navigator determine something called as inferred mastery. Let us look at an example of this. If there are 2 competencies that are closely related, like understanding the concept of addition and understanding the concept of multiplication, these can be grouped under the topic of multiplication, as multiplication involves an understanding of repeated addition. If a learner demonstrates understanding of the concept of multiplication, the system will infer that the learner has also mastered the concept of addition. This is the template of the competency framework that is filled in for every course. It basically has all the sections that we went through. This is a graphical representation of the competency framework on the Navigator. The domains are represented by each of the towers, and the competencies are represented in the form of cells within these towers. Each cell that we see here represents a particular competency, and the progress of the learners are tracked at this competency level. A dark blue cell shows that a student has mastered a competency. A light blue cell means that a learner is working on that competency, and a gray cell means that a learner is yet to begin study of that competency. As mentioned earlier, each domain translates into a unit on the Navigator, and each competency translates into a lesson. Each lesson further contains a collection and assessments. The competency framework is the backbone of the Navigator and guides the whole learning process.